Welcome live on Coach's Corner NYC on YouTube. It's time to start the New York State 40-plus final here from Randall's Island, Field 74. Ralph Bednarchik on hand as the Manhattan Kickers, 5-0-2 in this 40 and over division of the red on red. They take on Manhattan Celtic. The Manhattan Celtic Masters, they're in the green over white. Underway in the first half of this one, as this is a dangerous ball that is sent wide of the goalie of the Manhattan Kickers, Mike Fitzgerald. Ball sent at the top of the shot, and that is in! A fine volley for the Manhattan Celtic. That's Michael Barish, the holding mid that steps into a shot in the opening minute. 3 players tonight that played collegiate soccer for the Manhattan Kickers, as Fitzgerald released the goal kick. Bozic, Vergara, Bakare dispossessed. Space out wide for Rob Olin. And Manhattan Celtic so far the better of things. We played into the 6th minute of action. Nicholas Joseph, the right back. And that ball remains in the field of play for Boris Kapelnik. Kapelnik able to check with his target man and John Tanios. And a nice settled possession from Michael Barish. And Manhattan Celtic again to work and space the field. Ball to the top, Bozic wins the head ball, and then on the follow-up. I'm talking to the player and head coach Jesse Bozic, controlling the midfield paramount tonight for the Manhattan Kickers' success. And particularly playing without the scoring abilities of Artie and Haskell. How will they generate offense today? And they find themselves nearly immediately trailing at 1-0. Checking back, Christian Huguenot. And Vergara could not get to that. Deep throw coming here for Manhattan Celtic. Toss it to Tanios. And under the overgrown tree that desperately needs a haircut, we will get an early corner for Manhattan Celtic. So Boris Kapelnik will have service. And already an important moment in this New York State 40-plus division championship game. Winner off to the regional quarterfinals. Well defended by the Kickers. Next ball entered in quickly for Valentin Cadena Acevedo. And finally the Kickers able to take it away. Vergara. He searches over the top. Lennon Spitzer. And then a turnover, a chance to counter. Corey Mullins. Numbers forward for the Kickers. Arian Berlowitz. And patience here. Christian Huguenot, the link up. Huguenot now looked to make the run down the middle. Joe Whiteman was in position for a check back. And there was an opportunity to swing it wide. As Eddie Wu Kuo was insisting to get the switch. And a whistle and an inadvertent handball, says Haris Rashid. 4 numbers forward, Huguenot. Look for service. And it'll be all Manhattan Celtic as he looked for the target man in Wale Bakare. Into the 9th minute here. At 1-0, we played 45-minute halves. Should it not be decided in regulation, we would go straight to penalties. Peter Finn Berlowitz. And a nice knockdown at midfield by Jaime Gonzalez of Manhattan Celtic. And it will be a Celtic restart. As Tanios lost possession, Bakare, and he gave it away to Hassan Mohammed. Spitzen from Samira. Spitzen. And the offside flag immediately up as Boris Kapelnik is the guilty party. Boris Kapelnik is one of the founders of this league. He started the 35-plus-year-old team for Manhattan Celtic about 7 years ago, he estimates. Then the 40-plus team about 3 years ago. No word yet on the 50-plus version of Manhattan Celtic, but he seems eager about it as transition for Bakari. As he got it out wide, space for Joe Whiteman. Whiteman looks for service, and it is only Celtic players there. Followed by Huguenot on the second ball. He'll volley! Dangerous look, Christian Huguenot. And a nice bit of skill to pull that off with his left foot. Sails it over the top of Vadim Slashchev. Tanios after the long restart. And John Tanios will leave it. Gonzalez searches across. This one through the defender, Kapelnik, trying to reach it, and the other way. And the kickers will try to go down the middle. Wasted ball. Nice switch attempted by Michael Barish. And back into the mixer, Jesse Posick. The clearance for the kickers. Now the follow-up, Rob Olin. And eventually Posick again to the rescue for the kickers. At 1-0, Manhattan Celtic on a Michael Barish goal. Goal coming in the second minute. And now space for Corey Mullins. Well, check that rather, that was Bakare. Tanios from Gonzalez. Celtic able to spread the field again. With Joseph making the run to right back. Feed for Joseph. Heavy first touch with the left foot. But Joseph had made the run. Probably could have called out for the ball much sooner. And a battle for the second ball. Corralled here beautifully by Barish. Joseph unselfishly moves it along Muhammad. And then that ball got caught up in the feet of Valentin Cadena Acevedo, and a clearance for the kickers. Nice interplay for Manhattan Celtic. They're the defending champions, and sitting on a 1-0 first half lead tonight at Randall's Island. Huguenot to try to spread it. Berlowitz. Vergara. And then a foul as Bakare forced to check well back beyond his half of the field. Kickers with one shot. That was Christian Huguenot. As Huguenot did not have his man making a run. Mohammed. Mohammed spins for Barish. Kept alive by Sabira. Rustam Sabira. Feed of Barish as he's searching for a switch. Here for Joseph. And Joseph able to handle the quick pressure upon him. And he was looking towards the middle. He had Boris Kapelnik, who had started to spread the field beautifully. Arian Berlowitz, wide side for Eddie Niwu-Guo. And Berlowitz, good patient position to go back to Jesse Bozic. Connection with Huguenot, then he tried to thread the needle on the pass for Bakare, shut down by Celtic. Parrish steps into the passing lane. Tadios, great space for Kapelnik. Now as Kapelnik gets wide onside, Kapelnik down the tram man, Tadios, who lets it go and just missed. Well, poor transition defense by the Manhattan Kickers, and they almost paid the heavy price. Tadios, I think, had even more time than he anticipated. He probably had another dribble forward and perhaps even another pass or an outlet for Kapelnik if Kapelnik can continue the run. In the 15th minute with the defender slipping down, another takeaway. Tadios. Kapelnik. Nicely chipped in. Here's Tadios. Tadios just missed. Great bit of skill from Valentin Cadena Acevedo to make that possible as he chipped in Tadios there and was able to just pop it in and keep it onside. Wonderful creativity by Valentin Cadena Acevedo. And Tadios is going to be rewatching the film and seeing all the room and time he had to really settle and focus on placement. Another takeaway. Cadena Acevedo will pull from distance. And he also had a lot more room to try to recycle. So a dangerous spot in this game for the Manhattan Kickers. We do have 3 officials for this game, a center referee and an AR 1 and 2 for this New York State 40-plus Cup Championship. And there is a cup in the building as well today. Ball chipped across, Kapelnik, he freezes it! Fine pass again, the layoff by Valentin Cadena Acevedo. And finally, after some frustration in his runs, Boris Kapelnik has his goal. 2-0. Manhattan Celtic. Goal coming in the 17th minute. And after a series of costly giveaways, the Manhattan Kickers eventually paying the price. And for the Kickers, it has to start with possession with purpose, and that was not it. Muhammad as he pushes forward, and certainly a third goal could be devastating. Tadios really ran onto it nicely. Well, the great chemistry is evident here from Celtic in terms of their offensive third interplay. Parrish, and here comes Rob Olin, the left back, now jumping into the picture. Olin playing it in. Fitzgerald allows it to bounce. Fortunately, this turf, while it is on the older side, this particular field compared to some of the other fields, it is softer, so you do get more of a natural bounce. Some of the other fields here at Randall's Island, it'll bounce like it's coming off of cement, and then it is into a real danger spot where that bounce, you just don't know how it's going to occur and go over your head. Mike Fitzgerald, he is a veteran. He was able to judge that. And as they say, goalies get better with age. Joseph. Tanios triangles through for Kapelnik. Mohammed, good thought for the switch. Did not necessarily execute the pass, but jumping onto it out wide, and here is a big rip again over the fence. Nice shot by Rob Olin. Good thought on the switch. And it's a regulation size field here at Randall's Island. Plenty of room. It's hard to overhit a ball going side to side. We'll get our first substitution. Celtic will make the move. As into the game is Ernest Undakayev. He comes in up top and forward. Tanios will move wide left. Olin jumped into the play, and nearly sprung Cadena Acevedo. And the kickers have had trouble connecting a second pass. Kickers in a 3-5-2 alignment, 4-2-3-1 for Celtic. Kapelnik, Urdukayev, space for Wally Bakari. And Wale will be cut off by Leonard Spitzin. And it'll be a throw for Celtic. Spitzin, so crafty, was able to get the touch out. So far, a quiet evening for Vadim Slashchev. We saw one nice volley sail over the top from Christian Huguenot of the Kickers. Otherwise, the vast majority of the game has been played in the offensive half of Manhattan. The Kickers, that is. Off the takeaway, and the chance to step forward for Dylan Dodd. Dodd looks to go wide side, and leading the game in front of him is Slashchev by reading off of a tablet. Then Tanios now wide left. Bakari, chance to check back. Eddie E. will blow. Mullins, a return from Vergara, and then Mullins lost the dribble. Urdukayev. Barish, nice speed. Urdukayev shot blocked. Bosa getting the body in front, And then Jesse is going to rescue a corner. It'll be a deep throw. The 24th minute of play. 2-0 Manhattan Celtic. Bozic on the head ball. And tripped up is Corey Mullins. Mullins played his collegiate soccer at Columbia. And likely for head coach Dieter Ficken. Ficken was there through the early 90s. For some great Columbia teams. Columbia under coach Kevin Anderson now. They're certainly in a building mode to try to rise in what is a very difficult feat to go from 8th or 7th where they've been and build up in such steadiness and stay in the top 2. And particularly Columbia being located in New York City, affected greatly compared to some of the other programs in terms of COVID restrictions. They had a real struggle last year. This year Columbia improved, but still a long way to go to try to make it to the top 3 of the Ivy consistently. Capelman had Tanios, now does have Tanios, plays it across, and he almost had the tap in from Michael Barish. Barish 5 years ago probably makes the sliding tap in and is celebrating a goal. Joe Whiteman. And as Whiteman shields up the defender well. Now he will play the head for Don. And then Don had it shut down, looking for Wale Bakare. He and Bakare too close together. And the field not spaced. And that sort of led to the collapse of the play. Now Tanios with Budukayev making the run up the middle. So the kicker is able to come up with a couple of countering opportunities. Yet the possession has started to take a real toll. Celtics being able to get their outside backs consistently up the field. Well, our first Manhattan Kickers legend sub. As Eddie Wu subbed off. Bakari. Perlowitz. Numbers for the kickers. Perlowitz looked to the top of the area. And he had Bakare, so it'll be the first Manhattan Kickers throw on the opposite half of the field. Into the game for the first time for the Kickers, Mike Michelini. So he has gone in to a spot wide right. Finn. Mike Fitzgerald. God for Finn. And Corey Mullins able to accelerate past Joseph. Here comes Leonard Spitzen. And Spitzen deceivingly fast. He's able to play it back to Vadim Slashev. And then a physical play. The first time Jorge Garcia on the field 27 in green for Celtic, and the offside flag is up. Manhattan Celtic, the luxury of having a full 18 on the roster tonight. So in addition to their early lead, Dave Seal and Boris Kapelnik know they can build on it. Here comes Tadios wide. Tadios with Budukayev making the run. Ball is there for Budukayev for the volley. As he shanks it, good thought though. Anything on target, and Mike Fitzgerald would have been in a compromised position. Manhattan Celtic tonight actually having a couple of extra bodies here that unfortunately we're told that they're not going to dress, and they are here supporting the team. '30th minute, first half. 2-0 Manhattan Celtic in this New York State 40-plus division championship game, with the winner heading off to the regional tournament. Finn. Bakare, good thought. Huguenot waits for some support, and that's through the feet of Wally Bakare. And Bakare perhaps thinking, as he ran onto that ball, whether or not he'd be able to shoot it quickly off the first touch, and he'd retreated through him. So it'll be a goal kick, and in this 40-plus division, the advantage is just like particularly JV soccer, even a lot of varsity soccer, the goal kicks tend to be very short. Here's where you can press up. It'll be Leonard Spitzen to take it. A chance for the kickers to start to pin Celtic deep. Spitzen will get it out to midfield. And it will be a kicker's throw. Nevertheless, that got the job done in terms of switching fields. Kolowitz. Spitzen finding Kapelnik. Nice movement from Cadena, Acevedo. Kolowitz. Owen knocks down the path of that ball from Mike Nicolini. Finn. Well, the kickers have done a better job spreading the field. They're going to try to go direct here for Mullins. Spits in to the feet of Sabirov. Also to begin for the first time for the kickers, John Slover. He's coming in right back. Boris Kapelnik. As he whips it across the top, he had Tadios follow up nearly in the range of Cadena Acevedo. Joseph steps up, keeps the next ball alive for Kapelnik. Kapelnik whips across. And Celtic wisely with Mohammed for Spitzen. They've made good choices consistently. They have limited impatience. They've dominated the ball. They have a 2-0 lead in this New York State 40-plus cup. Tadios will leave it. Then the return. Budukayev was trying to flick in Tadios. Kapelnik He'll win the ball through. Shake it up as Mullins. And the kickers just needed a release. Olin. Good delivery wide. John Tanios. Murdukayev as he duels with Bozic. Save made Fitzgerald. Bozic tried to shield off Ernest Murdukayev, and Murdukayev was able to fight for position and get off a good strike. Reactionary save from Mike Fitzgerald. It'll belong as a goal kick as Manhattan Celtic will make substitutions here in the 35th minute. In is number 32, Ram Shevis for the first time. As number 45, Felipe Sanchez. Spitzin. He looks wide for Shevis. Good delivery. Shevis across. Fitzgerald only got a piece of it, and the head ball is put in. 3-0 Manhattan Celtic. Ernest Murdukayev. A 36-minute goal. What a ball played across, and while Leonard Spitzin is not going to get credited for an assist, his delivery wide to Ram Shevis made that possible. As Shevis fired it across the goal mouth hard, no one marking Ernest Murdukayev, and he was able to get his forehead to the front of the six and just force it in. Fine all around, and Manhattan Celtic dominating this game on the field and now on the scoreboard. Manhattan kickers missing key members of their lineup, like leading scorer Ardian Hasko, a forward. But even if Hasko was here, the lack of possession today for the kickers is alarming. Missing other key parts like Dave Dupuis, Oscar Martinez, Wilson Pan. This ball across and Spitzin will clear it. Wilson Pan and Dan Segelin. So for the Manhattan kickers on a different day, the game would perhaps look a lot different. Berlowitz, Slover, Whiteman will chase. He fires a rocket, and the stop is made, and it'll be a corner kick. Save made to the short side, Vadim Slashchev. First corner for the kickers. And imperative that they at least cause some havoc here. Late first half. We're in the 38th minute. Celtic will make a sub, and John Tanios will exit. And Wilmar Jimenez will come in for the first time. Bakare with service. Into the mixer. Chance here. Save made. Slashchev Slash jam on the doorstep. Is able to come up big. In tight on Arian Berlowitz. Second ball by Bozic, and that'll be off target. 2 saves in the sequence for Vladim Slashjev. Down the middle, Ernest Murdukaya. Murdukaya jostling with Finn. Finn touched it last. Finn was not expecting the contact. And it'll be a corner, the second of the night for Manhattan Celtic. At 3-0, they'll play it short. And they steer it along for Jorge Garcia. Cadena Acevedo. And a new right back. And Felipe Sanchez. Spitzen was looking for a runner down the middle. Fitzgerald will come up and snatch it. Huguenot. Good ball down the middle, and then Spitzen will get there. Nearly perfectly timed run for Wally Bakare. Now a transition opportunity. Ram Shevis. Shevis. They tried to play in Cadena Acevedo. Cadena Acevedo swings it for Wilmer Jimenez. Is in now. Looks like it was a wide left midfielder. Dodd. Bakare. As he hunts for it. Corey Mullings. Locating Whiteman. Clean play by Leonard Spitzen, who has been impressive in this first half. .42 minutes. 3-0 Manhattan Celtic. Murdukaya lining up the shot. And then he shanked it. Just a little bit of interference from Dylan Dodd bothered it, but Ernest Murdukaya, his eyes opening up, realizing he had a chance for crack. It all started with a Michael Barish goal in the 2nd minute. 17th minute, Boris Kapelnik from Valentin Cadena Acevedo. Then in the 36th, Ernest Murdukaya from Ram Shevis. Peter Finn. Fine sliding breakup from Jorge Garcia. Whitehead will be fouled. And the kickers will put Christian Huguenot over it. They only have 3 at the edge of the box. This would certainly be the time to push more numbers forward. Instead, they'll go short here for Peter Finn. Finn down the middle. Cadena Acevedo. Huguenot read the next ball, and then Huguenot commits the foul. And Huguenot maintaining the ball was already gone and out upon the contact on Jorge Garcia. Should be in the 45th minute. Bozic, and handles that well. This cross steered in, handled by Finn. Huguenot searched for a good switch for Mullings. Good thought. But Ramchevis did his job recovering, and that's it for the first half. Impressive by Manhattan Celtic. They got a nice goal to start things, and then they kept up that same momentum. And they poured it on 3-0 at halftime. Take a pause for 10 minutes. You're watching the New York Over 40 Championship Cup here from the Cosmopolitan League on Coach's Corner NYC. Welcome back on Coach's Corner NYC. Ralph Kidnorchik on hand. 3-0 in this New York State 40-plus championship game, with the winner heading to the regional tournament and playing a quarterfinal matchup. Manhattan Celtic in the green and white, red on red, for the Manhattan Kickers, who defeated them 2-0 on September 11th in the regular season opener. The Kickers at 5-0-2, only 13 players here tonight. So that's certainly a factor that they're missing some key bodies, but overall, it has been an impressive performance by Manhattan Celtic today. They got an early goal and they kept up with the pressure, and they look determined to pour it on and finish this game strong. Kickers from left to right in the second half. Spitzen, connection with Cadena Acevedo. Vozic drops it in for Huguenot as he's able to steer it wide. And locating Arjen Berlowitz. Kickers came out in a 3-5-2, and it looks like they have maintained that shape. Cadena Acevedo. Bukayev, nice check back. Great patience out of the middle as they look to play in Wilmar Jimenez. Like the choice there and the patience from Jaime Gonzalez. Also to the game for the first time, Itamar Alperts. He's coming at left back for Manhattan Celtic. So they'll be able to get their entire roster into this game as Bakare is stripped up. Ball delivered over the top. Corey Mullings. Mullings, is he onside? He is! It's 3-1. Just off the restart, Mullings played in, and into the 48th minute, they've got a different game. Only question was if Mullings would be onside. He let the ball do the work as he settled it, and a rare time where Vadim Slashchev did not read the play and the ball in front of him. He was frozen and did not come out to challenge. He gave Mullings options to shoot at. For Corey Mullings, his 4th goal of the season. And a great delivery there. I believe that was Christian Huguenot on the assist to play him in. So the Kickers with some momentum. Peter Finn connecting with Huguenot. A little bit of room. He strikes. Good look for Christian Huguenot. And all of a sudden, the Kickers, with that kind of look, could have been within 3-2 with the entire half, in essence, remaining. And then Whitehead taking the shot of Joe Whiteman, able to rip that, and that is the save by Vadim Slashchev. So this is a much different Manhattan Kickers Legends team, and we saw the entirety of the first half. Well, center referee Haris Rashid is having a word with Arjen Berlowitz, and perhaps that, I don't know if he is cautioning him about that shove of the Manhattan Celtic player before Arian picked the ball up for the throw. Toss in for Bullings, and Bullings is fouled. So here's what it amounts to: a short corner for the Kickers. So they'll get Huguenot over for another set piece. Huguenot, back post, and Slashchev squeezes it as he distributes down the middle. Slover, then the defender Alpert falling down. And a takeaway. Whiteman. Bakare. Bakare then tried to play the ball in. Offensive end toss in. Finn quickly in. That was actually slipping down was Corey Mullins. Here comes service in. Slashchev sees it go out. Last touch by the Kickers. Again, numbers into the area for Manhattan Kickers. Even that was a dangerous cross. Well, they need a Leonard Spitzin goal kick here to switch fields. Little win tonight, if there is any. It would be in the face of Manhattan Celtic as it comes off of the river. Finn. Finn turned it over. Ball ahead for Cadena Acevedo. Cadena Acevedo is able to get wide. Then services across, and defending there by Vozic. Burdukayev to the leave and the rep, and it's over the bar. Golden chance for Wilmar Jimenez. Wilmar tried to go high. He may have had options low and towards pockets. So the Kickers escape. Eddie Woo. Vozic. Good thought to go there out wide. He will go. Then will return for Whiteman. Now numbers again for the Kickers. Whitehead, and they get Spitzin with a fine and clean interception, reading where the next pass was coming. '55th inning. It's a 3-1 Manhattan Celtic lead. They led 3-0 at halftime. As a delivery down the middle, Burdukayev, and coming out is Fitzgerald. Now Fitzgerald trying to recover. Fitzgerald is still out. Fitzgerald now the back pedal, open goal. Here's a shot. And it misses. as it floated just over. Ram Shevis will be thinking about that one on his ride home. Cadena Acevedo and Huguenot stepping into that run of Shevis, who is likely still steaming after that miss. Alpert, Jaime Gonzalez, Cadena Acevedo, Shevis may have another look. He approaches, he takes the shot! 4-1! Ram Shevis, a minute after missing a goal, Shevis steps up and he delivers a strike. He tucks it into the far post. It's 4-1 Manhattan Celtic. In the 57th minute, nice delivery from Cadena Acevedo. So the Kickers found themselves outmanned. Remember, playing 3-5-2, they did not have anybody on that far side, and whoever the left mid was too far out of the picture, or not covering there. That's what makes 3-5-2. Certainly it's an exciting formation in terms of attacking, but then you've got to do your jobs swinging back to be the fourth defender to keep the field balanced and keeping at least one man in front of you. So big goal there after the Kickers had a couple of good chances to try to make it 3-2 and get themselves immediately back in the game. And then Shevis, after a chaotic situation with Mike Fitzgerald in a major scramble. Fitzgerald trying to hustle back as if he was trying to catch the bus. Never did so. Shevis missed over the bar. A minute later, Ram Shevis was sprung wide, and then he ripped it low and wide. And low inside the far post for a right-footed player. This is the only game taking place right now at Randall's Island, a place that typically is busy around the clock. John Tanios. Gonzalez. Alpert calling for the ball. The left back getting deep. Itamar Alpert floats it across. Finn. Yeah, great patience by Peter Finn. Not to just blast it out. He looks for possession. Finn, calm under the attempted pressure of the Celtic. Jesse Bozic. Bozic fortunate at the ball from Gonzalez right back into his path. And here comes Iwu Guo. Iwu Guo. He could have dummied the ball through. as he had a man cutting. Backside, Mike Piccolini. Finn looked for Berlowitz. Corey Mullins. And Mullins is fouled. Here's a very good spot for a restart. And Mullins wanting to be ready and perhaps let it rip before Celtic could put up a wall. At 4-1, still plenty of time. This is the New York State 40-plus championship here at Randall's Island. The Manhattan Kickers legends 5-0-2 through the regular season. And at Celtic Masters 5-2-1. NYPD FC veterans not in this championship match. Mullins striking, and the wall does its job. Slashchev, and he'll cover it, preventing the corner. Finally, checking back, Cadena Acevedo. Shevitz gives it back to him. Spins it. He made the connection. Look for Nicholas Joseph. Or check that rather. Other outside back on. And the Kickers will toss in. They'll make looks like they won't make a sub. Instead, Vozic will just drive it. Offside flag is up. Good delivery from Jaime Gonzalez. Oh, Harris Rashid has heard enough chirping. He's going to pull out the yellow card for the first time tonight. So Manhattan Celtic player, that's Jorge Garcia, picking up a yellow in a New York State 40-plus championship game. Vozic getting numbers ahead. This ball skipping in, and it's handled well by Slashchev. Runners coming through. That's a good opportunity for the Kickers. And if the Kickers were able to play this way in the first half that they played here in the second, we'd have a really good game. Jimenez, as he served it across, it's only at the chest of Mike Fitzgerald. Ball settled, Cadena Acevedo, and he can only skip it in. Today, Acevedo again. Looks for the layoff after another turnover. Chevis. And Chevis was expecting the right back to jump in. He does. Ball ahead and in the air. Jaime Gonzalez could not bring it down. Ball finding Mike Fitzgerald. Here comes Spitzen. And Spitzen able to win it back. Spitzen to the feet of Felipe Sanchez. Slashcha plays it a little bit direct. Tadios bringing it down. And this last five-minute segment has been what Manhattan Celtic looked like the entirety of the first half. Dominating possession, making the kickers chase. They haven't been as consistently dangerous as they were in the first 45 minutes. That's because the kickers have been able to level the playing field, but over the last 10, the game has returned to that status. Gonzalez. Eddie Uwe as he tried to lay it back. Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald will step in and sweep that away. Follow-up opportunity, though. Turned over. Tadios was not positioned to turn and shoot. Eddie Uwe as he's battled up by Itamar Alpert. It'll be a throw coming for the kickers. Here on Coach's Corner NYC on YouTube. Many games from Randall's Island consistently being live streamed here and then posted after the fact. Ralph Michigan and earlier tonight. You can watch Martin Luther King High School, the top seed and defending champions of the PSAL A division. They're now playing Double A. They defeated longtime rival Beacon. 3-0 score in a playoff quarterfinal. Sub on for Celtic. All 18 players look like are going to get into the game with a good amount of playing time. Good step by Rustam Savirov. Michael Barish checking back in for Manhattan Celtic. And he was a ball winner in that first half. Barish. Tadios checks back. Pin. Look for Wally Bakare. Iwu Guo. Rob Ullman back on at left back for Celtic, and he had an aggressive first half carrying forward. It is Manhattan Celtic possession. Sub on for the kickers. Dylan Dodd will head off for the first time. Jimenez. 61st minute. We'll check that, make it the 71st minute. 4-1 Manhattan Celtic. Sabino. Olin. Confined. Olin for Tanios. Jimenez. And he can only send it in on Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald will fling it and try to lead Arian Berlowitz. Berlowitz looked over the top for Bakare, who is not making the run yet, trying to stay outside. Kicker's goal was on a quick restart. Corey Mullings diving right through the middle. Now they look to play in Bakare, but that pass had no chance from Slover. Gonzalez delivers the ball. Tanios, he's in. Sees it. John Tanios played in beautifully. 5-1 Manhattan Celtic. Just a gorgeous delivery, and then Tanios with fine composure. Wonderful all around by Manhattan Celtic. Played in by Valentin Cadena Acevedo. And Manhattan Celtic looking very sharp most of this evening. So the goal in the 72nd minute. Mullins at the edge of the 18. Deep throw for the Kickers, who had entered with just 6 goals allowed in their 7 40-plus H Division games. Just 6. Tonight they have given up 5, and we still have 18 minutes to play. Good sliding breakup. Berlowitz, and he tried to go for Mullins. Celtic will sub back in. They're starting right back tonight. Nicholas Joseph. So Manhattan Celtic just having fun tonight. Berlowitz, his ball intercepted by Spitzin. And in the middle of the field, Celtic has been a lot better. Joseph carries along. Numbers again for Celtic. And they're trying to backheel that. And leading the run was Boris Kapelnik. Good run started by Joseph. Spitzin, he read the pass for Huguenot. Then Nicolini tried to play in Wally Bakare. Some tired legs now for the Manhattan Kickers. Just 13 players total, so only 2 subs off the bench. Can't switch out your forwards or your wide midfielders, particularly the 3-5-2. We'll try to keep those players fresh and try to outnumber players. Tanios got a good delivery. Tanios looks for a cross. He carries, takes the shot. Pulled into the short side. He had a runner down the middle. Jorge Garcia just begging for a ball to be chipped at the penalty spot. '78th minute, 5-1. Manhattan Celtic on their way to capturing, for the second straight season, the New York State 40-and-over championship cup. The cup is here in attendance for the first time. It's on the far side of the field. They've found an older gentleman that has brought it. He's going to make the presentation. One of the people, the commissioners of the Cosmopolitan League. So that is nice. I'm wondering who among Boris Kapelnik's crew is going to take that home with them. Kapelnik, as he couldn't keep up the momentum. Out of the back, Joe Whiteman, who's moved back there just to rest up. Then this strike, and that's missed by Wilmar Jimenez. And Manhattan Celtic continues to come in waves. Whiteman will take the goal kick. Tanios, nice check back play. And Joseph wide. Whiteman read the run. And it's Joseph that trips up Joe Whiteman. And it'll be the restart and the defensive third. This was a 3-1 game. A Christian Huguenot shot shortly after. About 5 minutes into the second half, that missed wide. Otherwise, you're looking at a potential 3-2 score. And the Kickers with all the momentum and looking like a different team from halftime. But Celtic withstood that. And at 3-1, they were able to increase their lead. They got 2 good looks. Ramchevis missed the first one. 9 minutes later, the end of the 57th. He got played in by Valentin Cadena Acevedo, one of his 3 assists tonight. He got played in And Ramshevitz from the right side of the box on the move shot the ball low and hard to the wide post, beating Mike Fitzgerald. That made it 4-1, and that's been all she wrote. John Tanios would add a 5th goal in the 72nd minute. And then the depth in numbers tonight of Manhattan Celtic has worn down the kickers. Tanios. And then Tanios nearly in position to turn. Jimenez chases. Slover for the kickers. Olin sauces the nice pass. Celtic heavy pressure, and they turn over the kickers again. Here comes Tanios, offside. Well, Wilmar Jimenez probably could have carried the ball himself. He had that much room in front of him rather than play in Tanios and risk the offside. Tanios will exit. So his night likely done. And Ari Reza, the lone player under the 18 from Manhattan Celtic that has not played tonight, he's in the game. Jimenez sends it across. Ari Reza, first touch. It's a goal-scoring opportunity. He passes, and the assist for Ari Reza. To the front for Michael Barrage. 6-1. Good initial pass by Wilmar Jimenez. All the way across, and just tired kicker's legs, not getting back at all to even make that be a contest. Fitzgerald hung out to dry. Easy tap in for Barish. So that goal in the 83rd minute. Well, despite who the kickers have or don't have tonight, the Celtics have played a strong brand of soccer where everybody has been involved. There's been little to no drop-off when they've made substitutions. There's fine interplay, particularly in the offensive end, where that is most critical. They don't have only a couple guys dominating the game in a 40-plus-year-old league. That can sometimes be the case. There's a ball win. And into the feet of Ari Reza. And Reza has been a magnet for the ball. If he kept himself in an onside position, he's probably shooting right now. Blue ball for Huguenot, and there's Leonard Spitzin again, putting in a full 9-5 today. Outstanding center back for Manhattan Celtic. Berlowitz is able to retreat from some Celtic players. Joseph right back in. And look at this in the final minutes. Manhattan Celtic continuing their high level of connectivity. Nicholas Joseph made the run. Reza, he's making the run inside. Here's Kapelnik. And Kapelnik still with it. And eventually Kapelnik fouled. Approaching the 87th minute. Manhattan Kickers enter tonight having allowed just 6 goals in 7 games. 26 goals scored, 6 allowed, a plus 20. Tonight they've allowed 6. Manhattan Celtic, they've been pretty steady, 26-4, 12 allowed. Now when these two teams met September 11th, there was a 2-0 victory for the Kickers. And they're about to be back-to-back champions in New York State, 40 and over. And for the Kickers, certainly the first place to start with. They needed to get off to a better start tonight, giving up the goal to Barish in the 2nd minute. But I think that appeared to be irrelevant based on the way the rest of the game went, in terms of the possession that Celtic was able to build up. Certainly being caught with only 13 players available tonight. And that's a big factor. The Kickers were able to raise their level for a good 20 minutes to start the second half after they got their 10-minute rest. And we saw what the Kickers could be if they have closer to a full team. And then we would have a real game on our hands. As Bakari is fouled. And Itamar Alpert is going to pick up a late yellow here.
Guys, where are we?
Barish, what a quality game he's played in the middle of the field. Well, ahead of the match, Jesse Bozic talked about having to win the middle of the field. It was Celtic overwhelmingly there. Celtic overwhelmingly on the scoreboard. 6-1. Manhattan Celtic Masters. They've gone back-to-back in New York State, 40 and over division. They have aged gracefully as a team. They've come together, and they're going to the regional tournament. A great collection of talent, all on the same page tonight. 6-1 is the final, an impressive showing from Manhattan Celtic. A year later, they come back and are able to defeat Manhattan again. Michael Barish with 2 goals on the evening. Valentin Cadena Acevedo, he was wonderful with 3 assists. Other goals, Boris Kapelnik at 2-0. Ernest Mudukayev at 3-0. Ram Shevis with a goal and an assist. John Tanios would add the other. Ari Reza, an assist coming in off the bench for Manhattan Celtic. And a goal tonight for the Kickers. Corey Mullings from Christian Huguenot. That came in the 48th. Impressive performance by Manhattan Celtic tonight. Congratulations to now the back-to-back champions of New York State in the 40 and over division. My name is Ralph Pinorchik saying so long and good night. You've been watching soccer from the Cosmopolitan League on Coach's Corner NYC.